Holy One.
A great guy, and his videos are fantastic.
What's good, gamers? Holy One here, coming at you with the greatest gaming challenges I have completed in the last two console generations, spanning Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Nintendo. So let's start off with Xbox. My most recent achievement is in Gears of War 4. I beat the single player on Iron mode and Untouchable mode, I think it's called, meaning if I die in 2 hits, and if I die in 2 hits, I have to restart the entire campaign. That was difficult. I also beat Gears of War Ultimate Edition on PC and Xbox One on the highest difficulty, of course, hardcore. Resident Evil 5, the Master Chief Collection, pretty much all the Halo games on Legendary, and I got all the achievements in Dead Space and beat Quantum Break on the highest difficulty as well. So that sums up Xbox pretty much in a nutshell. Moving over to PlayStation. These are ones I consider to be the hardest challenges I completed myself. Let's see. Moving on next. These are my personal best challenges. Probably Ratchet and Clank. That was pretty hard on the difficulty scale. Let's see what else. And these are just ones I think that were the hardest, you know, playing games in the highest difficulty, ones you can die in one hit on, stuff like that. Yes. J-Star's Victory versus Plus. That was a very difficult platinum to get, and playing a co-op definitely helps. It can get very challenging for sure. And I'm not just going to go off games I platinum, I'm going off games I consider that I were difficult. Of course, Mass Effect 3 both on the 360 and PS3. I got the highest difficulty completed on Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Tales of Grace's F. That was really difficult to do on the highest difficulty because that's probably the hardest Tales game for sure. The Borderlands games on the consoles. I beat Persona 4 Golden on the highest difficulty. That one was definitely hard. God of War 3 on the highest difficulty. Uncharted 4 I completed on the highest difficulty to get the plat, as well as Bloodborne, of course. Dark Souls 3 I beat that, of course. I didn't platinum it, but I did beat it on the PS4. And what else do we have? Let's see. I'm looking at other ones that were probably difficult. Ground Zero. Dark Souls 2. I nearly platinumed that. That game was pretty difficult to beat. That game wasn't the hardest Dark Souls game, but it could be considered hard to beat. I beat BioShock Infinite on the PS3. That high difficulty was difficult for sure. I platinumed Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. Those were difficult. Devil May Cry 2 by far the most hardest. Revengeance, of course. I platinumed that. That was difficult. I beat it. I platinumed it on PC as well. Devil May Cry, beat that on the highest difficulty. Platinumed it. That was a difficult plat to get. Along with Skyrim, that was a hard one. Let's see. Infamous 2 was a bit difficult. Jak and Daxter wasn't too hard. PlayStation All-Stars Royale, that was a hard fighting game. Modern Warfare 3, one of my harder plats to get, and completionists for that one. Resident Evil 4, I guess, but hard mode wasn't too bad. Let's see. Final Fantasy, that one. It's not one people may play, but I enjoyed it. That one was definitely hard. Metal Gear 3 and 1, definitely up there in the top challenges I've beaten. Killzone 3, that one could definitely be up there. Black Ops 1, that plat was definitely painstakingly hard to do back in 2011. Red Dead Redemption 1, that one was definitely a tricky hard one. Can't wait to play Red Dead 2 on PC. Brink was definitely hard. Yakuza 4 and 3 were definitely hard to play on Yakuza difficulty. And to wrap it up, we have Resident Evil 5, of course. So, those are those for PlayStation. As for Nintendo, pretty much I got Metroid beat on hyper difficulty mode and pretty much any Nintendo exclusive there. So, going over to PC, we have Akiba Strip. It's a beat-em-up action game. I beat that on the highest difficulty and got all the achievements. I wanted to do it on PlayStation, but as you guys know, PlayStation, I had difficulties with that. So I did it on PC. That's by far one of the hardest ones. Alan Wake, I didn't 100% achievement on Xbox 360, so I finished it up on PC, and I managed to beat it on the highest difficulty, as well as getting all the achievements as well. Bayonetta, I beat on the highest difficulty on the Nintendo Switch. I also beat Bayonetta 2 on the highest difficulty on the Switch, and I also did it on PC, and you unlock a special lightsaber ability. The Binding of Isaac, one game I spent over 100 hours in getting all the achievements, and by far was a painstakingly difficult game to do. BioShock Remastered, that game was quite hard on the hardest difficulty, as well as getting all the achievements in it, as well as the BioShock 2 difficulty curve, and of course BioShock Infinite. I just put these in here because I remember them being hard to the point where I start breaking stuff. That's why these games are in here. Borderlands 2 gets very difficult at the highest level, as well as fighting the invincible enemies and doing that stuff solo, so that made me rage. Borderlands got the Enhanced Edition. I put that on the list because Cormorax was definitely a beast to kill, unless you didn't know what you're doing. Same with Pre-Sequel, that can get very difficult when you ramp up the difficulty of level scaling. Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, I beat that on the highest difficulty, and that was definitely difficult. Very difficult. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, I got all the achievements for that on PC instead of PlayStation. And yeah, that game was... The painstakingly getting all the achievements is me as a controller-only guy. Fighting these keyboard and mouse guys was definitely painstaking. Just like Black Ops 1 and 2, I got all those. Ghosts, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare Remastered. Cave Story Plus is a good platformer. It can be very difficult on the highest difficulty. And they just added a split-screen mode, so the game a little bit easier now. Conception 2 is a dungeon crawler anime-style game. And it, on the highest difficulty, is very difficult, especially if you want to get all the achievements in it. Crash Insane Trilogy, I just added this on here because getting the plat was pretty difficult, in my opinion. The reason Cuphead is on this list is because I beat it day one it released, before the game was nerfed or patched out, and I never encountered any glitches, so yeah, Cuphead was pretty difficult there. Danganronpa 2 I put in there because this one I wanted to get all the achievements on compared to the other ones, and it was difficult because you had to quick time everything with those trials. Dark Souls 2, I platinumed again on PC as well as PlayStation 3. Dark Souls 3, I pretty much played it again on PC just to get that 60 frames, and I didn't platinum it, but it was still difficult, especially because I beat all the expansion DLC characters. And they were tough. Dark Souls Remastered, I beat this on PC because it came free for PC, and I beat all the bosses without dying once to them. Go check out my playlist, guys. It's definitely worth watching. Darksiders 2. This game is a fun first-person shooter, and it is definitely worth picking up if you have a PC. It is difficult if you play it on the highest Mafia mode. Devil May Cry 4 is definitely hardest, especially if you play the Bloody Palaces like I did, and I also platinumed all the games on PS3, so yeah, that was definitely hard. Devil May Cry 5, I beat the game on Hell in Hell. That was definitely very difficult. Disgaea 2 and Disgaea 1, they just get harder as you scale with the levels. Just make that clear. Devil May Cry, I platinumed this again on PC. Doom, I beat on Ultra Nightmare on PC and PlayStation 4. There's no achievement for beating an Ultra Nightmare. It's just bragging rights. Dragon Ball FighterZ, I managed to beat all the highest tier fighters. So I beat all the hardest mode tier fighters. Dust and Elysian Tale, a fantastic action game. Very difficult on the highest difficulty. Earth Defense Force 4.1 is a destroy all environments kind of game, better than Crackdown 3, and it can get harder as you scale up the difficulty. Evil Within 1 and 2, I beat the Evil Within 1 quite a while ago on the highest difficulty, and then I beat the Evil Within 2 on Akuma mode, which is really difficult. That would be really difficult. Killing Floor 2, I maxed out all the characters. That took me quite a while, so I felt proud of that. My Platinum Metro Redux, 23 and Last Light, those were definitely difficult, especially with the scavenging for playing it on the hardest difficulty on my first playthrough. Monster Hunter World, I beat the Behemoth. That thing was definitely hard, and I also beat the Extreme Behemoth solo, and I got all the achievements as well. Nier Automata was definitely very difficult if you cranked up the difficulty, and I also beat the game's Button DLC, which was a Coliseum mode, and if you got hit once, you had to restart the whole Coliseum, and on top of that there was a 1 hour time limit. That was difficult. And of course, my pride and joy, Neo the Complete Edition, I didn't finish on PlayStation 4, but I finished on PC, and I beat the highest New Game Plus, which basically every enemy can one-shot you. And yeah, that was painstakingly difficult, and I went through 2 Elite controllers with this game, so my game of the year over Zelda Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. Portal 2, another game. I don't like puzzle games, but I wanted to platinum this game because it was that good, and yeah, I managed to get through it. Quantum Break, again, I got all the achievements on Steam, just like I did on Xbox. I don't think I got all the achievements on Xbox, but I beat them on the highest difficulty. Resident Evil 2 Remake. I did a speedrun of that game and beat it in under, an hour and 47 minutes on hardcore mode without opening an item box and not saving. Yeah, that was hard. Resident Evil 6, I beat on the highest difficulty. That game was just difficult. Rise of the Tomb Raider, did the same, beat on the highest difficulty. Soul and Sanctuary is a 2D Souls-like game. That game was definitely difficult, and it's harder if you play with people, so just be aware of that one. Sonic All-Stars Racing, this was a very hard kart racing game to get all the max times and everything like that. And Star Ocean The Last Hope 4K is not hard, but getting the platinum is nearly impossible, and I managed to do it. Tales of Berseria, I managed to beat that on unknown difficulty, same with all the other Tales games. Tokyo Xanadu X Plus is kind of a Persona-like game, but it's action. I managed to get all the achievements and beat it on the max difficulty. And Total War Warhammer, I managed to beat that on the highest strategy difficulty. And Vanquish, I managed to beat on the highest difficulty for shooter. Wolfenstein New Order I beat. And Yooka-Laylee to wrap off my list for these games. So, let me know what you think, guys. If you want to have GLM or Weapon Wheel Podcast issue me a challenge, just know these are the challenges I've completed on my own time, because I like to play my games on the highest difficulties. So, let me know what you think, guys. This is your boy, Holy One. Out!